We are live now.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Susmita Gupta. I'm a brand consultant and a tea artist. I have been doing brand consulting for corporate for the last 20 years. And I have been also working with different professionals to help them build a positive personal brand. I'm started this service almost 14, 15 years back when personal branding was a very new subject. So I'll be talking today about why personal brand is important for women and how do you go about using or establishing a personal brand for your career objectives. Now, before I get into a little bit on my presentation, which I have for you, let me explain what is a personal brand, because I think there are a lot of misconception about, or misconception, or not many people are aware of what is a personal brand. Simply put, personal brand is a process to make you memorable in the mind of your customers. Now, why do you want to be memorable in the minds of your customers? Because if you are memorable, they will want to do business with you. You will have more recognition, reputation, and prestige. You can ask the price for your services or product that you feel you need, and you don't have to really worry too much about your competition. Number 4 is that you can establish yourself as the go-to person for your subject matter among your industry and to your customers. So if any of these things make sense to you, you want to be memorable, you want to earn a lot more money, respect, prestige, reputation, and also be known as the go-to person in your industry, then you definitely need to re-establish your personal brand. Now, why do I say re-establish? Because everybody is born with a personal brand. And as we grow up, we keep on stacking about your personal brand. Now, let me share a little quickly the presentation, which talks about a little more technically about what is a personal brand. So the first question actually that, here is, what do you want to achieve in life? I was having another session in the morning with another bunch of women. And when I asked this question, what do you want to achieve in life? Somebody said, and I said, you can dream as big as you want, as absurd you think you can think of, and tell me what is it that you want to achieve in life. And somebody told me that she wants to have a food truck when she grows up. She's 22-year-old. And I was quite taken by the dream that she has, that she wants to have one food truck and nothing else. When I told her that your dream can be as absurd, as big, as huge as possible. So the starting point is to be able to dream whatever you can think of. Because if you only think this much, you will only achieve this much. And don't worry about कि ये possible है, नहीं है, हो सकता है, क्या मैं कर पाऊंगी, क्या मेरे पास उसका credibility है, क्या experience है, क्या expertise है, क्या. Don't worry about all that stuff. Just think what you want to achieve in life. The moment we can put that structure कि ये मुझे करना है life में, then we can find out what we need to do step by step to reach this place. But this is very important. So the first step is to decide for yourself what I want to do. All of you, most of you, some of you already have a career, has a business. So you already know what you want to do, perhaps. Redefine it, define it, put it in a paper and put it in front of you so that you know this is exactly what you have to be in 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. What is the legacy that you are going to leave when you retire from your work? That's the point. So the question here, I'm going to, there's a little bit of a trick. This is a trick that I'm going to tell you to know that what is it that you are good at. Now, this is a little exercise. What you have to do is take a paper and pencil and write down what do you think in your own mind, 3 adjectives that defines you: honest, hardworking, loyal, uh, go out and outspoken, anything. So whatever that defines you, write it down. Call this the list A. The second list that you should do is, after you have written it down, call your friends and your colleagues, not your family. Call your friends whom you trust, who are, you consider your good friends, and your colleagues, your bosses, your peers, and ask this question. When you think of me, what comes to your mind? 3 adjectives. That's all. No explanation, no lengthy sentences, no paragraphs, no essays. Only 3 words that comes to your mind when you think of me. This you ask your friend. And when you go and ask your colleagues, your boss, particularly the boss, put them under list B, and then see whether matching together or not. Now, my experience of doing this for almost 14-15 years is that this 2 list never ever match. What do you think of yourself and what other people think of you hardly matches. But that's not the point. The point is, is the second list, the list B, more positive or negative? If it is a positive list, that means you think you are an introvert, but they think you are introvert, but you can be outspoken at times when it is required. So that's a more positive thing that you thought. Then you go with that. Then you keep that in your mind, that this is how people perceive me. Because what people think of you is more important than what you think of yourself. Again, what people think of you is more important than what you think of yourself. So now you have a combined list called list C, where you will find out the differences that you have found between list A and list B. And this list C becomes your DNA. This is your DNA, which you have not understood, but other people have understood and realized and perceived by being working with you, by knowing you and being working with you, right? So next, go to the... So establish a personal brand is very easy when you know what you are good at and what others think you are good at. So when you are doing this exercise, which I just told you, you will also see that many of the things are related to your work. Maybe most of the things are related to your work. Sometimes what happens is, for example, you are into, say, you write fantastic content. You are a very good content writer. But other people think of you not just as a good content writer, but somebody who can make excellent presentation, somebody who can represent this content in format with images and ideas, which is even more attractive. Maybe you have done that before. Maybe you have done some spectacular presentations for your people. So that is, they think you are good at, while you think you are only good at writing content. Now imagine which has got more power, which has got more value, being a content writer or being somebody who can do spectacular presentation. Now it is up to you to decide which one you should pursue, to remain as a content writer and excel and try to continuously make your target audience know that no, this is not my expertise, but this is my expertise, or keep doing this and keep doing this also, so that you can earn more value for you out of this. A content writer charges for a word, for an article, the maximum they charge is about 1 rupees to 4 rupees a word. Imagine what somebody who does a presentation, spectacular presentation charges. So you already have expanded your value by doing this. Now you have both. How much are you going to charge for this? So personal brand is basically this. Your actions, what you do, and what the other people are experiencing by working with you, by seeing you, by experiencing you. So when you combine this together, the action and the reputation is what makes your personal brand. This also makes you a go-to person for your work. Are you a go-to person for content writing, or are you a go-to person for presentations? Right? So your actions, continuous actions, and your reputation because of those actions creates your personal brand. So this personal brand, as I started to say, is the perception that people have in their head already by seeing you, dealing with you, and working with you. So how do I make this perception in such a way that they only want to do work with me? And then I become their only option. And when I become their only option, I can charge the money that I desire and deserve. Right? Now, in a lot of YouTube advertisements and other stuff, there are a lot of coaches, there are a lot of gurus who are trying to tell you that I'm going to show you something which is going to make you earn a lot of money. 1 crore. I was just listening to something which popped up in the YouTube, and he said, if you are an entrepreneur and if you are not earning 3 crore rupees, in a year, you are a failure. So this is the message you are getting from this person. I listened to that and I thought, is the money the only motivator? Because money is, you are going to get money if you're good at it. If you are going to get money, if you can position yourself well, you will get all the money if you can build your personal brand. But I think, which is even more important, is to build your reputation and respect and prestige. When you have a very good reputation, people respect you, you feel prestige, you have a prestigious position. As a person who knows stuff in your industry, you can earn as much money as you want, right? Your goal cannot be earning 3 crore rupees. Your motivation is to be the go-to person through reputation, through respect, and through prestige. I'm going to tell you a very shortcut way to begin with. This is a very big subject. It's a continuous process. It cannot be done in 1 or 2 days. You have to do it regularly, practice it, perhaps, take a class with me. But I'm going to tell you today quickly the shortest thing, the summary of it that we are all talking about. So one of the most important thing is that when you are building a personal brand, you have to make sure that you have to be unique. That means if there are hundreds of people around you, my target audience should be able to recognize me for something that I offer, unique. And when you are unique, only you are memorable. You cannot be memorable if you are one of the person standing in a crowd, right? So being unique is first step to become memorable. The second thing is that finding a niche for what you are doing, right? So in my morning session, there was a lady who, when I asked initially, what do you do? She said, I sell handicrafts that I source from different parts of the country to corporates as gift. So then after we started discussing this, and I said, see, what you told me is done by 1,000 other people. What is the uniqueness that you do? Where is the niche? Do you have a niche? Because without niche, you will always compete on price. Because your customer will tell me, see, you have given this for 10 rupees, but the other guy has given me at 7 rupees, so you have to give me at 6 rupees. So you will always compete on price, but you don't want to even discuss price. So you have to create a niche. You have to be unique, and then you have to be creating a niche. So what is the niche you can think of in your business? And then we discussed and we found out the niche is that many companies now, in fact, almost all companies now are working on sustainability. And her gifts fits right into that sustainability platform. So when she goes and places her product, her gifts items in front of the HR person or whoever it is, and she says, see, this is a sustainable product built by the artisans of India. And when you give this, your prestige, the brand value of your company goes up. Now she is not going to compete on price, because now she has been able to give a solution to her client by understanding what the client needs. Sustainability, not a corporate gift, sustainability. So this is very important, uniqueness and niche. And then when you are building up reputation like this continuously, you become the go-to person. Now imagine this company will always go to her to buy sustainable corporate gifts, right? Because she is the first person to understand this. And she might get recommendations because of this, or she may get referrals because of this. A recommendation when the client by itself recommends her to another company, and referral is when she asks the company to give referrals because of their experience of working with her. So both ways she can now get more business. So she becomes the go-to person for anything to do with sustainable artisanal work from India, right? So you become a go-to person. You have created your niche. And when you continuously do this, when you continuously communicate this, you want to continuously present yourself like one, you become memorable. So these are some of the tips. I have highlighted the ones in green and bigger font to tell you which of these are the ones where you really focus on to begin with. Authenticity, being an authentic person is very important, because you cannot fake being something which you are not. If you try to fake, if you want to be like somebody else which you are not, because you thought, oh, he did this by doing this, so I can just copy him and I will also be successful, I also do this. It doesn't work, because inherently you are a very different person. If you are an outspoken, outgoing person who loves outdoors, likes to talk people, and like to explore the world, but you are given a job where all you do is sit in a corner office and just looking into your computer and do stuff, you will go crazy in 6 months. How much money you get, you will going to get crazy. So even though you might have copied somebody's success by choosing a role, and that made you sit inside the job, you are not that person. He or she might have been that person who loves a quiet corner, can concentrate, can work. She is a different person by DNA. You are a different person by DNA. So copying somebody doesn't work. Authenticity works. Understanding what works for me. That means who I am as a person. What are my strengths? What I can do, what I cannot do. Authenticity is important. Investing in yourself. Like this has been my most a heartbreaking experience that after we finish our basic education, either it is graduation or post-graduation, we never even think of investing in ourselves. We don't do that. But the world is changing, knowledge is changing, work environment is changing, requirements are changing, demands are changing. See how AI is completely changing things, and AI just happened like this, right? So if we are not aware of this, if we are not keeping ourselves updated, if you're a content writer, how do you compete now when you have something that writes for you, thinks for you, gives legal advice, and earns you money for, uh, in a court of law? So you have to keep on investing in yourself. I always tell that every 2 years, find a course, find a program, and put some money in investing and updating yourself. You should have a fund segregated for you, which is your upgradation fund. Use that money to upgrade. If you don't have the money, if you don't know how to do that, there are multiple free platforms available. LinkedIn Learning is there, Upgrade is there, where you can get extremely good programs. You can learn them, but make sure you learn something new, something completely different in your career where you are focusing on. Build relations, not network. This is another important thing. Networking is transactional. Networking happens when you do something for me and therefore I do something for you. But instead, if you create relationships, I will do things for you if I like you. I don't care if you have done something for me, and so would you. So building relationships is more important than building network. And a problem solver. Being a problem solver is a most important part of your niche and uniqueness. So if I go back to so when I go back to this, brand is a unique promise of value. So you are selling a product, you are selling a service. You are a content writer, so you are selling a content writing service. You could be a product seller, you could be anything. But instead of selling a product, can you sell a solution? Because when I sell a solution, I'm solving somebody's problem. When I solving somebody's problem, I'm in a better position to negotiate my price, to have a memorable experience, to build my reputation. Take the example of a content writer. You are a content writer, but the world is now changing. There's AI everywhere, right? So how do you now convert your service of writing content to a solution to somebody? The solution could be, and I'm thinking aloud here, that someone needs to say, for example, a very personalized ghost writing. While AI can write excellent stuff, it may yet not been able to write in my own personal style as compared to your personal style or somebody else's personal style. So if you want to be a ghostwriter, if you want to write in somebody's style, not even a ghostwriter, you want to create a style, you become an expert in writing as per your client's individual style. That could be a solution that you are providing. Okay, you have AI which you use But if you have to write, can the AI write it for you? So I am going to be the person. So here is a problem, and I am the solution, and I'm going to write like this. So find the solution. Sell a solution. Do not sell a product. Do not sell a service. Sell a solution. And when you sell a solution, you become a problem solver, right? Because you solve somebody's problem. And nobody loves you better or more when you solve somebody's problem. So if I have to now sum up everything about personal branding is being memorable in your customer's mind by being unique and offering a niche solution to your customer's problem. So this is a continuous process. It cannot end. It cannot end by working 2 months, 3 months. It's a continuous process, and you have to keep on doing it. And this is the process that I follow when I work with my clients. This is called 4W1H process, which I follow, which I have created, which works good for me. So these are the questions. Who are you? What do you do? Who do you do it for? Why do you do it? And how do you do it? So these are 5 sessions, 1 day sessions. These are, when I say 1 day, it's not full day, it's about 2.5 hour session. So there are 5 sessions. Who are you? What do you do? Who do you do it for? Why do you do it? And how do you do it? So who are you actually tells you the authentic you. It finds your DNA so that you can match it with what you do. Then what you do is actually all your experience, expertise, what people think you are good at, what you think you're good at, what you should be good at, stuff like that. Then who do you do it for? Who do you do it for is identifying the whole ecosystem of your customers, your direct customers and your indirect customers. Indirect customers are the one who are your influencers, your cheerleaders, who will inspire others to use your services. Why do you do it? Why do you do it are the reasons which makes you get up every day morning to go to your work. Now, if you don't feel like going to your work in the mornings every day, well, if you are sick, you may not be, but then there is an issue and we have to find out and we have to solve that problem. Then that means there are passions lagging. So how do we get that back? And how do you do it is everything. How do you dress? How do you talk? How should you behave in social media? What you should write, when you should write, to whom you should write, what should be your communication style, what social media platform you should use, how do you leverage these social media platforms, how do you target your audience in this social media platform, what kind of activities you should do on social media platform. This entire thing is under how do you do it. Important thing, dress well, look successful, because when you look successful, people think you are successful and they want to do business with successful people. So that is it. That's about a very, very, very brief introduction about personal branding. If you want to be in touch with me, I'm here. This is my number. This is my email address. And if you want to set up a call, you can always send me this is a business numbers. You can send me an email, WhatsApp message, and we can set up a meeting with you. If you have any questions, please write it down, send it to me through Vyapaar, Jagat, or directly to me.